Oh, it's always fun to try and get here just at 9 o'clock. um, this morning I had just things going on around the house, and anyway, I finally made it, so I'm here. Glad you are too. And if you didn't make it right at 9 o'clock, that's okay. Glad you can watch sometime throughout the day. So we are talking about what I like to call yoga small plates, which are little tiny bite-sized nourishment for, and in this instance, in this 14-day series, we're talking about exhaustion and burnout. I've been having fun kind of playing with the words. I'm a writer, so I like to play with the words um, for what exhaustion sounds like, depending on your dosha. So I was talking about vata gets kind of worn out, pitta gets burned out, and um, kapha gets vegged out. Those words, actually, somebody asked me about them a little bit more in the message, and I learned those from one of my wonderful friends and teachers, whose name is Durga Leela. And Durga teaches about yoga for recovery, for addiction recovery. And she told me she learned, I don't know if she coined those terms, but she learned her Ayurveda from David Frawley. And I love David Frawley's approach to Ayurveda. And he has lots of online stuff. So I just wanted to offer you that as a resource. David Frawley is a great Ayurveda resource. Okay, so today I want to spend a little bit of time on these guys on the feet and doing self massage. One of the things, I wrote a book about self massage. Here it is. Somewhere. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Two different covers. It's the same book. This is the first. That was the first. Is that in English? Yeah. That was the first edition, and then this is the second edition, but it's the same book. But this one's available right now on Amazon. And so I love massage. I wrote the book. I love massage, self massage, and it's such a great thing to add to your practice, or if you're a teacher, it's a great thing to add to your classes at the end of class. One of the things I've noticed about doing a little self massage, like I'll teach people things like there are some acupressure points for their hands, or maybe some face massage or scalp massage, back of the neck, places where people get tension. One of the things I've noticed is that when I add that to my classes, it creates this kind of community, and people start talking a little bit during it or asking questions, and it's just very relaxing, nice thing to do before shavasana at the end of class. Sometimes I do the whole thing, which takes like, I don't know, it could take 10 to 15 minutes, but it's really good. And sometimes I forget to do it. And then I think, I haven't done, how you get like that with classes, like you sort of forget something that you like teaching, you taught it so much, and then you're like, I think I'll do something else for a while. So it's nice to go back and it's nice to go back and kind of reclaim some of that stuff, because you'll be amazed at how much wonderful, how many wonderful things you've left behind just because you forgot them, especially when you've been teaching for a while. So you can sit the way that I'm sitting on a prop and start with just massaging the bottom of your foot. And say I'm using two thumbs, I'm going this way, but you can also go straight down, like more of a shiatsu. I'm trained in shiatsu, actually, which I really love shiatsu. Go straight down through the middle line like this with your thumbs, and then you can go slowly through the sides. So you do like three different lines. And then a fun one is to, if it's accessible to you, is to take the elbow and do a little elbow shiatsu down there. Oh, it's almost like somebody else is doing it. And you can get pretty deep into the bottom of your foot. Now, in terms of points, like this is just in and of itself is great for exhaustion, to give your feet any kind of a massage. Let me show you one more thing, and then I'll get into some points. This one I really like too, is you press into the space where your toes meet your foot. So you press down into that space. And then another one that's nice is toe rolling, where you just grab each toe and give it a roll. I hope you can see this. I'm just going like this with my toe. Yeah. Okay, now as for some acupressure points that can be useful, particularly for exhaustion, find your medial malleolus, this bone, and then when you slide down, straight down from there to the heel, go right in the middle of that. So right between the malleolus, the bottom of the heel, and the center, use your thumb. And that's a lovely point for bringing nourishment again to the kidney energy. That's a really nice one. Also really good for sleep, right? If you're feeling insomnia. And then another interesting one that's easier to do if you pinch the Achilles tendon is you go directly inferior. So you go right behind the malleolus on both sides. So I'm taking my index finger and thumb like this, and you just pinch the Achilles tendon there, right? So this one here is good. You want to do it for about a minute. We don't have time for that this morning, but you do it about a minute. 30 seconds is good too. And then the other one is pinch the and kind of massage right at the Achilles tendon. Those are wonderful points for the exhausted kidney energy. So you can add those into your massage. It's a little bit of foot massage. This is nice. I'll finish it off. And then before you do the other side, you might want to stretch out your feet and see how they feel different. We'll do the other one. Some people, this isn't accessible to get their foot up like this either. So other ways you can get to the foot, maybe put it down on the floor in front. But, there's something about maintaining that kind of flexibility. Doing massage like this also is useful for increasing flexibility and maintaining flexibility, particularly as people get older. People who have challenges with their feet, like diabetics, right, often can't get to their feet, and that's hard, right? So maintaining some of the flexibility. Of course, we don't want to compromise the knee or the hip. So this is something good to do at the end of practice when you've warmed some of those larger joints. Okay, so I did a little bit of this massage on the side. Can you see that? Yeah. And then also I'm doing the shiatsu down the center and then down the sides. You can do those shiatsu lines a couple of times. There's also, of course, foot reflexology, which I do mention foot reflexology in my book. I'm not doing an infomercial for this, but there is some good stuff in here. I think there's even a foot massage in here. But so reflexology will give you a whole map of the bottom of your foot, and it coordinates different organs, different areas to different organs, and it's a really interesting way to work as well. Okay, and then I also showed you the pressing down into the space between your toes and your foot, and some toe rolling, and then I did the elbow shiatsu. This is like my favorite one, the elbow shiatsu. Really get in there. And then the acupressure points. So between the malleolus and the heel, pressing down there with the thumb, trying to keep some relaxation, try not to, create more attention in my shoulders by relaxing my feet. And then pinching the Achilles tendon. And those points you can do for 30 seconds to a minute each. Is really nice, very nice for sleep. Oh, and let me show you one other thing you can do for sleep. I'll make sure you can see this. If you're having trouble sleeping, you're lying down in bed. I'll make sure you can see my feet. You're lying down in bed. You can actually just take one heel and massage the other foot like this while you're lying down. Let me see if you can get that in there. Yeah. Massage the other foot. Oh, that looks really lovely on camera, doesn't it? So you can do this, but you can give that area a massage for a minute or so. It's something, it's one of those things. I like to have options. I've had insomnia since I was a child, and so I have lots of different things that I do for insomnia. That's one of the things that I like. Okay, so that's it for today. Somebody asked me in the comments to do a sequence for the liver. I'll whip that one up for tomorrow. We'll do 2 or 3 poses for the liver tomorrow because it's only small plates. And please leave questions and comments. Okay, have a great day. Namaste. Thank you for being here.